Hi, everyone, and good morning. I know it's very early morning for my guests, but yes, I have the pleasure of having my first Naked Talk of the year. I've been battling some kind of a cold, so forgive me if I cough in the middle, but I am very lucky to have today somebody that I got to know personally, and she is just amazing, as many of you probably do know her as well. And her name is Dr. Carolyn Griffin. Let me know if I say it correctly. And yes, it is our first Naked Talk, and we're going to keep it open, spontaneous, and we will love your feedback. So if you have any questions for her, please post them on the chat because I'll be able to read it and ask her. If you like this kind of conversations, if you like Naked Talk, please post likes, hearts. We like the feedback. And yes. And now for those people that are not so blessed as me to have gotten to know her in a beautiful mastermind and to be in the inner circle with her, I will let Dr. Carolyn introduce herself. So tell our audience a little bit about you, when you started, how long you've been practicing, where you're from, any quirky things that we would like to know about you, because we are all naked and curious in this chat. So just go ahead, Dr. Carolyn, introduce yourself.
I'm Dr. Carolyn Griffin, and I am a chiropractor. I've been in practice. This last December has been 23 years, which is a long time. And I have now two practices, one that I'm in right now, and I just opened a second office about 2 years ago. And we had 2 fabulous years. Last year was awesome, and we're looking forward to continuing our growth. I just hired an associate doctor for my office, and she's fabulous. I love her. And so we're just in growth mode. We're in serving mode, and we're ready to rock for 2019. So that's me. And I have a side passion for fermenting food and educating folks on gut health and the importance of what it means to have a healthy microbiome.
Woo-hoo! I love it. And we're going to talk about that because I feel you have educated me, and there's so much still for me to learn. And I always love to chat about it because if I'm curious about it, I'm sure everybody else is. They just don't say it. So we are going to get a little bit deeper into it. So I want to know, what do you think people don't know about you? What is something quirky or naked that we can share with our audience?
Okay. I like to say that I was made in Japan because I was actually born in Japan, but I'm not Japanese. I actually lived overseas. My dad was in the Air Force, and I actually grew up overseas. I didn't come stateside. I think I had a short stint stateside when I was younger, but I spent most of my childhood overseas. I lived in Japan, Okinawa, Germany. One of my school field trips in the 7th grade was to Spain. I saw the first and only albino gorilla in captivity at the time, which now I'm like, oh, that's sad. But so yeah, I spent most of my time, and as a result of that, I really love multicultural, bringing that to my family. And when I had kids, I realized the importance of being able to communicate across, borders, so to speak. And so I wanted my kids to be bilingual, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And so I searched for a Spanish-speaking school out here because in California that makes the most sense. There are a lot of Spanish-speaking, and it could be very helpful. But I couldn't find it. And so what I ended up doing was I put him in a French school. And my husband actually drove about, is close to an hour to school, an hour back. And they spent 5 years in a French school. They are bilingual. They were taught completely by French teachers with French textbooks. And the only class that was taught in English was English. So that's pretty cool. And so I love it. And France, I love France. I love Paris. It's actually one of my favorite cities. And I always want to go, and I always want to bring my kids so they can be my tour guide. So that's me in a nutshell.
Oh my God, I love that about you. You see, I didn't even know that about you. Obviously, my kids are also bilingual. It's so important to have the multicultural, languages and to travel outside and get the perspective that we don't get when we are in our USA bubble. And I love Paris too, so much so that I'm taking my kids in spring break. So I can't wait. So I will show you. They have never been, and I can't wait to show it. So you just told me that, and I got butterflies. I'm like, so yeah. See, we have that in common. When I have people for my Naked Talk, obviously we're both chiropractors, and I have a lot of audience members that are chiropractors, and I'm always trying to find like input or answers on what do you think will take to unify our profession so we can have a common voice that can be louder in order to reach more people and save more lives?
So what can we do to reach more people in our profession? Honestly, my thought process is we need to set our egos aside and we really need to focus on the big picture and the bigger vision, which is serving the masses instead of serving our own egos. And I unfortunately believe that all too often, a lot of the leaders, and this is going to rub people a bit the wrong way, but we're getting naked, right?
It doesn't matter. That's what we're here for. Go for it, please.
Okay. So I feel a lot of the leaders are thinking more about themselves instead of what they can actually do and help the doctors that they're leading to actually serve the masses. I don't think that there's one vision or one idea that we can all agree on. And as a result of that, we are going to be stuck doing the same old thing, arguing about the same old stuff for another 100 years. And I'm a bit over it, honestly. We got on here and we're like, you know what? At this point, the older I get, wiser, I feel like I'm getting wiser. I'm feeling like things just don't bother me as much. And it just kind of surprises me, people's attitudes and reactions to certain things. And I just kind of laugh. And you have to just it's okay. Yeah. You're going to be fine. Yeah. Let's just all get along and just move forward. I mean, because if we're not going to do it together, I'm honestly just going to do it myself. Like I'm just going to take my practice and take care of my community. Because at least if one mindset's changed, hopefully we can continue to change more. I hope. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've been doing mission trips for 10 years, and I've been surrounded by so many leaders in our profession. I've taken major presidents of schools down to our mission trips, as I've had the opportunity to speak on great platforms and being around people that could be making a difference, that are making a difference, right? So, and I always question this because, stop the bickering, this and that. What is our goal? Helping people. We need to help people. That I feel that should be our common goal. We need to raise people awareness to the new level of health so we can save more lives and the lives of children and everything else. And I always ask, what is it that is missing in chiropractic? How can we get to closer together? What is missing to increase our certainty level so we can speak louder and just be bold like you were just now? So thank you, Carolyn, for that. And just, let's just do it. Who cares if we're not going to get the support? Let's just do it ourselves, right? But wouldn't it be great? And what is one thing that you feel it has helped you to increase your certainty level?
So again, I really think getting a bit older, being in practice a lot longer, the veil has been lifted for me on so many levels with so many different groups and organizations within our profession. And I don't always like what I see. I didn't like what I saw. And I think for me, I prefer to, if it doesn't feel right here, then I'm not going to support it or do it. And so I don't always support financially organizations and things that I feel don't align with me. So, I mean, I don't want to get too controversial here with you, but I do know this is your naked
girl, please. I wouldn't have invited you if you were boring.
Yeah. So honestly, the way we need to do it is just focus on what's important. Serving the masses. So what does that mean?
Yep.
If you're going to serve the masses, are you going to charge an arm and a leg to get someone in the door? I say no. I say make it affordable. Understand who's in. I'm not saying give it for.
Understand your market. Yes.
I'm not saying put a box on the wall. I'm not saying have but practice the style you want. make a living, but also make it affordable. And just know that it's not all about the dollar. It's not like they're walking in with a dollar sign on their forehead. You really need to look at them as a person and say, okay, what can I do to serve you and your family? If the mom's coming in, if they're having 2 kids, coming in on that visit, why aren't they starting up? But figure out what it is, spread the word, talk about it, and get these folks in, because if it's truly about serving the masses, then make it affordable as well.
Well, yeah, for sure. I feel that we have to know our market, know what is it, what kind of impact do we want to make in our community, and what is it that we're serving, right? Are we serving ourselves, again, back to the ego, or are we serving the people? Are we serving our community, society, the group, or are we serving the people? We have to get back to what is truly needed. So I love what you said, and I'm sure you're amazing at serving your community. Again, if not, I wouldn't have you here. So I want you to share with our audience what will be your best business tip, because I know there's a lot I can learn from you. So I'm sure our audience can be benefited as well.
So I just had a lovely marketing meeting with my 2 doctors last week. We went to lunch, and so we had an amazing year. Like I said, last year we had record numbers for this office, and definitely record numbers for the satellite office. And it's just, I want to keep that momentum going. So one of the things that we focused on is like, okay, so what are we going to do to bring in more new patients? What are we going to do to help our patient base understand that we're here ready to go, ready to serve? And it's education, it's getting in front of them, it's putting ourselves out there. And thank God for social media, because what we're able to do is I have a Facebook group for our office. And what we're doing is, between me and the 2 doctors, we're going to be posting every week. So that equals 3 posts a week. And we're going to be doing a live workshop every month. And we're going to be talking and promoting and educating. And they're allowed to drop in their friends, family, coworkers, whoever they want. And so that's what we're doing as one way to grow our practice this year. And I like it because it's a great way for me to communicate the message. It's very difficult to a lot of times have a workshop within the office and, fill that room, because they're busy. They have children. Yep. They are, having to make dinner, put them to bed. And most of the time my talks are after hours, which means I start at 7 p.m. That's kind of late for most folks, but I also want to make sure that I'm able to adjust the commuters that come in, because we are a bedroom community. They commute to LA, they come back. I open till 7 p.m. 4 nights a week. And so my talks, my workshops don't start till 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. And so as a result of that, I don't always get the rooms filled the way I would like to hear the message that I want to share. So that's one of the ways that we are fixing that problem, is to get this group going. And I cannot take credit for it. I will not take credit for it. I will give credit to Chris Burfield. He is the mastermind behind me doing this. So he's awesome. And if you haven't heard of him, you need to check out Chris. He's amazing. He's great at Facebook and everything else, but he's got such great ideas. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so pick his brain, support him. I went to his mastermind in Vegas, I don't know, a year and a half ago, something like that. And I learned a ton. And this was one of the things I learned. And so I can now, I want to, and I wasn't very active last year because
Hi, Chris, if you're there, please comment. We love Chris. He not only, just so you know, he has such a big heart. He did pro bono work for Carol Mission. He helped us promote Carol Mission pretty much with peanuts. So we love Chris. He is great, and you guys should support him. And I love his big mouth. I love how he's naked that way. No, I have to say it, right? I mean, this is what I love about people. We have to be speaking up. And so what if you piss off a few people? Who cares? We are getting the message across. But I think that idea is terrific. I'm going to start using it myself, because I haven't been able to fill out my rooms, but the message is so big. And the parents, so what we're doing is that we had recorded it and send it to them so they can watch it in like a YouTube link. But I think if we can broadcast it live, it will be even better, that they can invite. And I think there's something called like watch parties that I've seen. I haven't gotten too much into it, but Yeah, but you can invite people to be watch parties, and those people can invite, and the audiences are all multiplied. So we have this big gift with social media, just like we're speaking, and you are all the way on the other side, and I'm in Miami.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So this is just extremely cool, and I love those tips, and I'm gonna check it out even for my next workshop, because the education. And another thing that I was thinking when you said that, it doesn't matter the topic as long as they start listening. I feel like the topic is not what's important. It's just you want to get them in to listen, to open their hearts, and to be able to share with their families, their kids, so we can plant seeds to start changing lives and help those moms and family members and all people and students and everybody that needs to be helped. So love that. Okay, so I'm going to ask you something. I always ask this because obviously it goes with my naked talk, and I teach my naked event. I'm having one now in Miami in March, and we always talk about our journey, because our journey is what has made us, shaped us, and built us into this very bold ladies that we both are.
Yes.
Yes, and I always ask, just out of curiosity, are there any regrets in your journey as a mom or businesswoman or chiropractor or whatever you want to call it? And if there are, can you tell me why?
I think there's probably, I would be lying if I said there's no regrets, right? It's not like anyone's life is perfect, but at the same time, I would say that I don't regret the regrets, if that's even makes sense, because it has shaped me into where I'm at and where I am now. And so I've made mistakes along the way, and I've made really great decisions along the way. And I think all of it together is exactly what I needed at that time when it happened to put me where I am today. So I'm good with it, with all of it. I think the best decision I made, however, and I've told this story a few times from stage, but I want to share it with you, is that the best decision we made was this. So when I started my first practice, when I started my own practice, I bought a house. I got, how did it go? I think I got the house, we got married, and then I got pregnant like within a 6-month period. Not got married. I got married before. Bought a house, started a practice. Got a house, started a practice, and then 6 months out after that, literally got pregnant. So I was like, oh crap, how am I going to, not that I was unhappy about the pregnancy, I wanted to be, but I wasn't thinking, I was just wanting, living life. And that's like, but how do I grow a practice that I just started and have this child? And so we did it. I worked it out. And a year into, so I basically worked a week before I delivered my son in my practice. And then I took 2 weeks off, and I went back 2 weeks after I delivered him. So I took 3 weeks total off of out of the office. I ended up going back, and I was just basically mom patient. I was breastfeeding in between. I was changing his diaper. I was playing with him. I mean, you just do what you have to do. And so this goes on for about a year. And a year into this, and keep in mind, my husband at the time was working for Ernst & Young. He's an accountant, and he got recruited and hired and was working with, at the time, one of the big 5 accounting firms. And so he was working ton of hours. We're talking 16 plus. And that's not an exaggeration. So every time he was home, my son was asleep. Our son was asleep. And so he really literally missed our son's entire first year of life. So come a year, when he's turned a year old, we go on a vacation to Hawaii, and we're like, who's this guy? Like, we're not even used to seeing, my husband around, because he's always just so busy and out. And I was literally acting like a single mom at the time with a brand new baby. And so we discussed it, and we realized this is not going to be great for our family moving forward if you're always gone. So one of us is going to give up their career. And since chiropractic was a lifestyle and not just a job, that's the decision we made. So literally that Monday, when we came back, he went back into the firm, gave 2 weeks notice, and he's been my office manager ever since. So my son is now 18. So it's been 17. This July will actually be 18 years that he's been in my office managing and doing all the accounting stuff that I don't like to do or know how to do, quite frankly. And So he takes over that. So that was the best decision. And it was scary. It was like, do we give up that paycheck? Like, can we really support ourselves on chiropractic? I was still new in practice, like all of these scared questions, but we just said, boom, do it. And you make the decision, you move forward, you don't look back. And it was the best decision we could have made.
Wow.
So.
I love that. And I always ask the regret questions because obviously I feel that we have very little regrets because we have learned and shaped our lives because of those decisions. And I love that you share that decision. It just makes me very nostalgic too, just because I used to practice with my ex and he was a chiropractor. He helped me with all the things I didn't want to do. And now I have to do it all myself or delegate it to some other person. Don't care as much. But yes, so I think it's an amazing decision. And those are the best ones, the ones that you make with your gut and you move forward and everything just falls into place. And talking about gut, I know I want to talk about this because just meeting you and learning about the cultural life and learning about your program, I feel is just extremely amazing. Obviously, I want to adopt you and bring you home because, but we can't. But we can't. We don't all can. So I want you to tell us a little bit about that and give us some tips that we can use because we all, even if we eat healthy and we live a healthy, at least I speak for myself. Hey, this Latina overdid everything between November and now. And yes, I'm paying for it. My gut needs some cleansing. I think a lot of things needs cleansing. But tell us about your program. Tell us what tips we can use, because I love giving naked tips to our audience that we can use to detoxify ourselves, that we can start. Where can we start to take care and look at our guts?
Sure. So just so you know, I did also overindulge. You're not alone, and it's okay. And here's what I want to say about that. It's okay. You can indulge. You can enjoy life, and you don't have to feel bad or guilty. But just know what to do to get back on track. So what to do to get back on track with that is you need to clean up the diet. Cleanse, do a detox. That's always super important. I know a lot of our chiropractic friends right now are doing water fasts. That's great. Intermittent fasting. That's great.
Love it.
Yeah. Cut out all of the toxins and things like that. But here's the deal. You're right. What you said was, even if you eat super great, super healthy, you still have to take care of your gut. And the reason why is because we are surrounded by so many toxins. I just had a rep here from Standard Process give a purification talk to our patients last night. And one of the things he said was that, we talk about how third world countries are so toxic and dirty. The air quality is terrible, all these places. And he said, did you realize that Los Angeles, where I live, is one of the most toxic, dirtiest cities in the world? And as a result of that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have all these toxins in your body. So even if I eat organic, I'm still being surrounded. So I still need to do things to help my body, heal, get to the next level. So I started my cultured life. For me, that was just at the very beginning about fermenting foods because I liked it. It was fun. I have fun in the kitchen. And it evolved. It evolved from showing people how to make kombucha foods. You need to actually heal your gut. I'm seeing and hearing more things about people having issues with, diverticulitis, ulcerative colitis, all of these problems that people are having. And there is a solution. I'm like, holy smokes, I've got an answer for you. And that answer is you need to heal your gut. And so I call it the 5 R's. I'm creating a gut program. I'm still working on it, but I'm creating.
We need it, girl. Hurry up. I'll help you.
Don't let Ed see this video. He's going
to Ed, you are on call right now.
So anyway, it's called the 5 R's of healing leaky gut. You need to remove the toxins. And that doesn't just mean from your food. It means from your environment. So look at your household. You need to repair your gut. And the reason why is because it's only 1 cell thick. And if you start to detox before you actually repair your gut, a lot of those toxins are going to go through, if you have leaky gut, back into the bloodstream, and it's actually going to wreak havoc on your system. And then you need to revitalize. And that means this: when you detox, people tend to get sick. They don't feel good. So you're going to boost your immune system, boost your adrenals so you can handle that toxic load going through your body. And then you're going to renovate, kind of like renovating a house. If you redo a kitchen, you're going to tear it down, right? So we're going to tear out and get rid of all those parasites and bad bacteria that are unbalanced and creating this issue within your gut, be it candida or leaky gut, all of these things that can be a major problem for a lot of folks, creating bloating and brain fog and, increased belly fat, all of these things, fatigue. And then what you're going to do is after all of that, then you need to rebuild. That's when you're going to start to incorporate fermented foods again. And the reason why I don't want to do it in the very beginning is because with a lot of fermented foods, there's histamine, and that can create some allergic type reactions in folks. So we have all these recommendations, all the supplements that are going to be needed to clean you out and build you back up, and which probiotic is actually going to be super important to repair the gut lining. Actually, it matters. Not all probiotics are the same. You're going to need one that is high in bifidobacteria. That actually heals the gut lining and makes it more mature. So when you're reading your labels, does it have high bifido? You better make sure it does, or else it's not going to work the way it's supposed to.
I love that. We need to post that somewhere. Okay. Please post it in the subject here. And also, when you were talking about this, I wanted to give a guideline of like how many days should people spend, well, besides after they remove everything, how many days should they spend on each phase? Can you give us a little bit a timeline? Because if questions pop out in my mind, I'm sure it is for other people as well.
Sure. And honestly, it depends on the person. Like, how toxic are you? And how long is it going to take for you to clean out your house, right? Like,
okay.
So when it comes to removing, I mean, that's just like clean out your pantry, make sure remove the bad food from your diet, remove the plastics, remove, things that aren't as a healthy choice, like not mayonnaise, veganese, or whatever the situation is, right? You're going to need to replace and remove and replace a lot of things first. How long is that going to take you? I don't know. How quick can you do it? The second thing is when it comes to repair, that's going to be an ongoing. Once you start that probiotic and you're going to need to repair, that's going to go along the entire course. We might alternate the different types of probiotics. If you do still want to have some fermented foods, there's a specific probiotic that has an antihistamine within it that I do recommend. That's going to be listed in this course that I'm creating. Yes. And I love this probiotic. And what's super cool about it is I actually give it to my dog, just so you know. And he had this, I just have to say this, he had this major sneezing fit. I was in Pebble Beach with some friends, and we were there. All of a sudden he's sneezing, and my dog doesn't really sneeze like crazy. We're talking achoo, achoo, 10 in a row. Poor little guy hitting his nose on the floor. And I was like, what is going on with this poor little guy? And it kept going for like 2 to 3 weeks. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And it wasn't just the environment, because we got out of that. He was still doing it at home. And so I gave him this particular probiotic that has this antihistamine naturally in it, quercetin. And then I gave it to him. Within the 3rd day, it completely stopped. So wow. This is something, yeah. So it's something that when you're doing this, not all probiotics are the same. You really have to pay attention. And when you incorporate these things is what matters. And so you can look all the stuff up. You can try it. You can figure it out on your own. But the gut health course is coming out, the 5 hours of healing leaky gut. I'm going to have that for you guys. And sooner than later.
Yes. You know what? When you were speaking, I was thinking about a TV show. Listen to me. Yeah. This was given in Naked Talk. So when you become famous, don't forget, because this will be recorded. But yes, I feel, that, have you ever heard of a patient told me about this show on Netflix. It's called Tidying Up. Is this lady from Japan, and she comes to your house and she helps you organize, clothes, your garage, your kitchen, whatever. So I was like, this is perfect. Carolyn comes to your house and she detoxifies the sides out of you and just makes you see your gut and eating and food in a different manner. There is a show right there. I know there is. There is a show. So because this other show, this lady doesn't even speak English. They're translating for her, and she's like this huge hit. I barely watch TV, so I find out from people. I don't even have cable in my house anymore, but I find out from people what's up. So I watch a little bit of her show. It's called Tidying Up. And again, she is just amazing. She prays before everything. She visualizes it. It's in her line, right? Yeah. So I totally saw you doing the same with our kitchen, on our pantry, and letting go of what we no longer need, so we can open this up, this beautiful pharmacy of natural healing we got when we do it right. So there is a thing. No, not that you need another project, but I see it, Carolyn. I see it.
I can go in and tear it apart. I'll do it.
Maybe because I want it. I'm like, she should come. She should come to my house and like bring her expensive kitchen toys and like destroy everything and make it all fresh and brand new. Yes, that's my wish. And I feel everybody needs a Carolyn in their lives.
Aww.
So if it is going to be in a virtual format through your program, let it be so. And I'm sure it's going to be a huge success. We have all said it. So, and I say it because I need it. And if I need it, many of us do.
That needs to be my motivation to get it done, because it is there. It is there. And I've got pieces done, but
I've seen it. It is done. Okay. I'm going to tell you that it is done. That thing is done. Done, seal, and deliver. But anyways, we have to wrap up the Naked Talk. This has been wonderful. Thank you for sharing those tips. Let's all get started on detoxifying our lives so we can shine our true light without so much being clouded by all this crap we don't need in our lives. And that's obviously a lot of my Get Naked is just stripping down the layers, and it needs to start from within, and mind, body, and soul, and yes, getting our guts clean. And we're going to put the links right below. She's going to put the links to her website, which she has a lot of the steps there and a lot of amazing tips and recipes that we can all start using only if she was in my kitchen cooking them for me. But yeah. I have a weird naked dream, I guess. And that is you in my kitchen, getting rid of all the stuff and making me all those natural stuff naked. Hey, here's a tip. If you want to lose weight, you exercise naked in front of the mirror. Trust me, you will. But it is. Trust me, it works. You want to lose weight? Just do 10 jumping jacks in front of a mirror, fully naked, and trust me, you will lose the weight and keep it up.
And fast, I bet.
And fast. Anyways, for our viewers, can you share what are some tools that you cannot live without? Or it could be a book, an app, anything that you use daily, daily habit, anything that you want to share with our audience before we go.
So one of the things that I can't live without is I absolutely love the fermented foods. Like I love kombucha and kefir, and I make fresh kefir every single day. And I make kombucha like constantly, making every time it's done fermenting, I'm bottling. And so I think those two things are super great. And also it's okay to incorporate over-the-counter supplements that are probiotics. Just know what you're buying, know what you're getting. And I'll give some tips in my gut health course, because it does matter, the number of strains, the CFUs, all of those things matter as to the type and quality. Just because it's less expensive doesn't mean it's good, or just because it's super expensive doesn't mean it's good. So it does matter. So I will make some tips on looking for the proper supplement as well. But yeah, I would say those are the two main things. And also, honestly, working out. Like, you said it's early on this side. I actually woke up on my side at 4:30 this morning. I already got my workout in. I ran home. I got cleaned up. I ran back over here to the office to do this interview with you. So I'm, in it, and I live it, and just keeping moving forward. Do what you got to do. Make your life happy. And it's not in anyone's hands but yourself. So make what you want of it.
I love it. I love it. I think, yes, again, you just confirmed that my dream is a real dream. I want you in my kitchen. Just by you saying the tool, I was like, kombucha? I want kombucha made fresh. I was like, who even knows that? Again, my family is not proud of me because I'm the one Latina that doesn't cook. So I shy away from the kitchen, and I would love to have a neighbor like you, or to have a mini you, or anything just near me. But in this way, this was a joy, and I look forward to seeing you in person sooner than later. And we're gonna post all those tips here. Also, I will post about my one day naked experience here in Miami. Miami, March 16th, for you guys to sign up. And I can't wait to see you, Carolyn. Thank you so much for getting up early, for being an example, for living and walking the talk. We need more people like you fighting forward to make an impact in this world in a positive way and really save lives like we say we want to. So actually live it and breathe it. So thank you so much. Thank you for everybody watching. Please share with your friends. If you don't know about Leaky Gut, this is it. I didn't know how important it was until I met her. Honestly, I hadn't paid attention. Maybe I didn't want to see the truth. So
care of you.
Yes, please. So share it, like it, and yes, and thank you for watching another episode of Naked Talk, and have yourself a blessed Friday. Love and appreciate everyone. Ciao. Thank you, Carolyn.